The Mound Builders, a name that conjures images of earthen mounds stretching across the landscape of ancient North America. From the fertile valleys of the Ohio River to the vast plains of the Mississippi, these societies constructed colossal earthen structures, burial mounds, platform mounds, and even effigy mounds in the shape of animals. While these mounds tell us much about their creators' social and political structures, there's a deeper layer hidden beneath the earth, one that sparks to their spiritual beliefs and possible religious practices. Who were the mound builders really, and what did their mounds tell us about their relationship with the divine? Today, I'm going to dive into the mysterious world of the mound builders' lost religion. A world that still challenges historians, archaeologists, anthropologists, and researchers alike. Though their exact religious practices do remain elusive, we can perhaps piece together clues from their monumental architecture, burial customs, and symbolic artifacts. First, let's start with the geography. The mound builders were a diverse group of indigenous American cultures spread across what is now the eastern United States. These people, including what we call now the Adena culture, the Hopewell culture, and the Mississippian cultures, who all flourished from around 1000 BC to roughly 1500 AD. Despite the vast differences in time and location, one common thread ties these cultures together: the construction of mounds. But these weren't just mounds for burial or for ceremonial purposes. The largest and most intricate mounds, like the ones at Cahokia in present-day Illinois, were likely ceremonial centers, places for rituals, gatherings, and perhaps even contact with the divine. So what were the spiritual beliefs behind these mounds? Well, we can't really say for certain, but there are some prevailing theories. The mound builders seem to have shared a deep connection with nature and the cycles of life and death. This connection is most evident in their burial practices. Large burial mounds like those found at the Adena and Hopewell sites often contained elaborate grave goods like tools, pottery, and sometimes even human remains. Some burial sites suggest the presence of specific burial rituals that may have been designed to honor the deceased or prepare them for the afterlife. In many cultures, the afterlife was seen as a continuation of life, but often in a more spiritual or divine form. For the mound builders, it's likely that these mounds served as physical representations of the soul's journey to the afterlife, a concept common in many ancient religions across the world. Another key element of mound builder religion likely revolved around the celestial bodies, specifically the sun, the moon, and the stars. Much of the mound builders' architecture appears to align with celestial events such as solstices and equinoxes. The layout of some mounds, particularly in sites like Cahokia, suggests a keen awareness of the sky above. It's possible that celestial movements were tied to agricultural cycles or seasonal ceremonies, both of which were crucial to the mound builders' way of life. But perhaps the most telling aspect of their religious practices lies in the symbolic objects that they left behind. Artifacts like carved effigy pipes, figurines, and copper ornaments provide us with a glimpse into their spiritual world, and some of these items feature animal imagery, including birds, bears, and snakes, animals that often held spiritual significance in various indigenous cultures. These creatures, representing both the physical and spiritual worlds, might have been viewed as messengers between the living and the divine realm. In some cultures, animals are considered totemic, acting as protectors or guides for individuals or entire communities. For the mound builders, animals were likely seen as conduits for spiritual power. Of course, we also need to consider the human aspect of these religious beliefs. In many ancient societies, religion was not just about the individual, but about the community as a whole. The mound builders' practice of communal burial, where entire families or social groups were buried together, suggests that their religious worldview was one that emphasized interconnectedness and collective identity. At the Mississippian site of Cahokia, one of the largest mound builder cities, the presence of elite burials alongside commoners further hints at a religious system where the leader, perhaps a shaman of some kind, had a special connection to the divine realm. These leaders were often buried with more elaborate goods, and in some cases their remains were accompanied by sacrificial offerings of kind. And it suggests the belief that these leaders had a divine mandate to guide their people and to guide their communities. It wasn't just the rulers who played a role in the spiritual life of these societies. The mounds themselves were, in a sense, a form of spiritual architecture. The construction of a mound required a communal effort, efforts like labor, materials, and time, of course. This collective act may have been seen as a religious offering of some kind, or a way to honor the spirits of the divine. There's also evidence to suggest that the mound builders may have protected what we now refer to as shamanism, an ancient belief system centered on the idea of intermediaries of some kind, often the shamans or spiritual leaders, who could communicate with the spirit world. The use of ritualistic items like ceremonial pipes, rattles, and effigy mounds may have played a central role in these practices. It's possible that these objects were used in ceremonies designed to connect the people with the divine, whether through offerings, prayers, or visions. The construction of effigy mounds like those in Wisconsin, for example, in the shape of animals such as bears, birds, and even panthers, suggests that these animals held special spiritual significance. They may have been viewed as sacred beings that had the power to connect the physical world with the spirit world. The very act of constructing these mounds could have been seen as a ritual act of devotion, a way of honoring the animals and spirits that guided the people. Despite the many clues, we must admit that the true nature of mound builder religion remains largely speculative. Much of what we know is pieced together from archaeological evidence, such as artifacts, burial sites, and the mounds themselves. These provide only glimpses into a worldview that existed long before written history. What we do know is that the mound builders were a people deeply connected to their environment. Their religion likely reflected this profound bond, intertwining the sacred with the everyday. The mounds they built were not just physical structures of themselves, but they were spiritual ones, places of worship, places of remembrance, and places of connection to something greater than themselves. In the end, the mound builders' religion, much like their culture, remains an enigma, beautiful, complex, and shrouded in mystery. But their legacy in the form of the mounds that they left behind continues to remind us of a people who through their architecture, their art, and their beliefs sought to reach beyond the earth and touch the heavens. As we stand today looking at these mounds that rise above the land, we are reminded that religion, like the earth itself, is an enduring force, and the mound builder's spiritual legacy though it may not be fully understood, continues to echo through time. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the ancient world of the mound builders, and if you'd like to learn more about the cultures that shaped early American history, don't forget to subscribe and explore more of my videos. I love you.